Hello and welcome to Heroes World TGIF. It is the weekend, and you know what time it is. It's time to kick back, relax, unwind from your stressful week, and hopefully pass the time with some of your hobbies. I'm Andre from Heroes World, and joined as always with my man Jesse. Jesse, how you doing this Friday?
Not bad, not bad. It's gotten really cold and wet and rainy. It's kind of gross outside. But
Yeah, it's definitely not a well, you know what? It's a February blah kind of day and situation, but do not let that impact all the cool stuff that has come out this week. What a week it has been at Heroes World. So many cool things came out, so many great things, lots of releases crammed into this week. Lots of things that I personally was very excited about. And we're going to talk about a couple of comics, and we're going to talk this week about the DC just dropping a sizzle reel. So that's what we've got on tap for today's show. But as always, I want to know what you're looking forward to this weekend, Jesse. What are your plans, if anything?
oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to get caught up on Fear the Walking Dead. It's gotten really good the
Cool.
past few seasons. I actually enjoyed better than the main
Main
Walking Dead.
show. Yep.
Um, I don't know. Now that Boba Fett's finished, kind of disappointing in the end.
Okay.
And I'm just started a game. A recommendation you gave to me, Horizon.
Yes.
Amazing. I can't believe I waited so long to play it. I'm kind of getting a little nervous because what I have 9 days, 7 days left before the second one
Oh,
comes out.
today's the 11th. So I've been counting down, my friend. 7 days. You've got 7 days to finish Horizon Zero Dawn and then jump into Horizon Forbidden West. And they just dropped a brand new trailer today. It's not an in-game trailer, but it's a CG trailer, story
Okay.
trailer. Looks fantastic. I'm super stoked for that one. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait for that game. But yeah, so my weekend plans, always, work. Gonna work tomorrow, which is Saturday. But finally, Games Workshop released the Tau Codex. It
Oh,
was supposed to come out last week, but because of some weather delays in Memphis, where Games Workshop is, we didn't get our order till this week. So I'm going to be pouring over that new Tau Codex and designing a new army, hopefully get a chance to build a new model or two. But this week, Games Workshops also has a brand new release, brand new Eldar models and Chaos models. So if you guys are into Warhammer 40,000, we see the Eldar getting a new leader called an Otark, new model and sculpt, as well as Rangers on jet bikes. First time for that. Chaos has got some new characters as well. I think one of them's a Warp Smith. So that box comes out Saturday. It looks crazy cool. So if you are into miniature gaming, you just probably know a little bit about that. But also, speaking of miniature gaming, Jesse, Marvel Crisis Protocol, some
oh
new
yes.
X-Men guys finally came out. So we had Colossus and his sister Magique. We had Juggernaut come out.
Oh,
X-23 and Honey Badger and Gambit and Rogue. So if you're playing Mutants in Crisis Protocol, there's lots of stuff to look forward to. So hopefully you can get a little bit of hobbying in if you like to paint miniatures, and hopefully you've got some friends that you can visit and play, because I don't think a lot of stores are doing in-store play. And last but not least, before we get into comics, this weekend is the pre-release for Magic the Gathering's new set. It's Kamigawa, and it's called the Neon Dynasty. So this is Magic the Gathering, but with a kind of ninja cyberpunk theme. This weekend, if you go to your local game store, you can get the take-home pre-release kit, which will give you enough cards to make a deck and see the set. And the set does come out for sale next Friday. So if you're into Magic the Gathering, you definitely want to check that out. But man, like I said, this week was huge. Lots of great stuff hitting our store, Heroes World. New Card Fight Vanguard set, new BattleTech miniatures for the BattleTech game, and of course, comics galore. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the great stuff that came out this week. And yeah, both DC, Marvel, and Image had lots of great books out there. Justice League Annual, Black Manta, which is drawn by a friend of the store. So we always like to support that when we know local talent is doing it. And a new X-Men book, Secret X-Men. I got to say, King of Spies, my favorite Mark Millar book. And of course, the Crown Prince of Crime, The Joker, issue number 12. And probably, I got to say, one of the hottest books at our store right now, Moon Knight. A lot of people, I think, are curious about this character, so they're checking out the comic before the Disney Plus series comes out. We also have the X Deaths of Wolverine, which is pretty cool. We talked about that in a previous episode of this show, so you might want to check out that. Check out Jesse's thoughts on that one. Spawn, McFarlane bringing us to Scorched, which is the Spawn team book, and the Smoking Hot Devil's Reign. This is Chip Zdarsky and what's his name? Is it Marco Cicchetto? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Doing the art. And this is the series in which the Kingpin is the mayor of New York, and he has basically outlawed superheroes. But the book right in the middle is Batman Detective Comics. Batman is MIA, and all of his, shall we say, Gotham Knights are stepping up to protect Gotham. Great series. It's been coming out weekly. Again, we've talked about it a couple of times, but yeah, definitely deserves center spotlight on this week. Great series. So if you are a regular of the show, you know that Jessie and myself, we pick one book each to talk about our books of the week, what we enjoyed the most, and we hope that you have time to check them out. As always, comment and recommend this video to people. Recommend reads to us as well. If there's something that we don't talk about and you're reading it and loving it, let us know, and we will definitely get to it. So, Jessie, what do we have first to talk about this week in Comicdom?
Well, before we start, just a little question. Have you ever been to New York?
Oh, yes, I have been to New York twice, actually. Long time ago, though. Long time ago.
Tonight, we are going to go to New York twice because New York City. Because I Am Batman is now the Batman of New York City. So this follows Jace Fox?
Yes, Jace Fox.
Jace Fox, as he is taking on sort of a mantle of Batman, and he has gone to New York to help with his sister. Sorry, I haven't read the following issues, but I think he's helping his sister, his mother,
helping his sister, and he's got family roots in New York City. Yeah,
New York. So he's decided to go there, help her, and become the crime-fighting vigilante known as Batman of New York. I really like this book because we see a different side to superheroes. The New York mayor wants to embrace Batman and give him almost like deputize him, correct?
Yes.
He wants to give him his own task force and say, you go out and do what you have to do, but you work for the police now, which I don't know, maybe Gotham should take that advice and run with it. Give Bruce Wayne, whenever he returns from where he is, deputize him. Why not, right?
Yeah. No, this book was really cool. And it's kind of special for us because Jessie and as you know, Ken Lashley, he did the art for this one issue, and he's a great friend of the store. And yeah, he really knocked it out of the park. His Batman is one of the best in the business, and this book kind of shows why. Ken is also going to be, I think, the new regular cover artist. So although he's only doing this particular issue, the interior art, it was nice to get a full-on issue. Now, if you don't know who Jace is, DC introduced a series, I gotta say, maybe a year ago, almost a year ago, called Future State, in which Jace took over as Batman in Gotham. And as everything kind of played out now, as Jesse's mentioned, he has moved on to New York, and he is going to almost be a authorized or sanctioned member of the police force. So again, this is a very different move. Now let's talk a little bit. You said going to New York. Let's mention a cool thing that DC Comics did. DC actually did big billboard ads in New York City talking about this comic book. And I got to say, props to DC for doing that, because comics don't get a lot of advertising outside of comics themselves, which is kind of, I've always said, that's kind of silly. It's like selling ice to Eskimos. They've got it already, right?
Yeah.
We need other people to know that comics are still out there. Comics are changing, comics are diversifying and stuff. So they took out these big billboards, very, very nice. So hopefully they can drum up some attention to this particular Batman title. But before I leave this subject matter, DC also put out a new trailer for The Batman. And at the end of that trailer, it says, check out these 3 graphic novels of Batman. It was Batman Year One, Batman Ego, and I think Long Halloween. So again, props to them for finally advertising comic books and giving a number for where I think it's called the Comic Shop Locator, so people can find where to find these graphic novels and stuff. And this is I want to say this is almost a first. Like, usually they don't advertise comics or comic shops in their big media, either movies or television shows and stuff like that. So a step in the right direction for DC. So I want to give them a little bit of applause for that. So
Yes, and when they were posting those billboards in New York, it was almost like street art, and I don't know if you followed it on Instagram or any social media. It was kind of like a scavenger hunt. People were going out looking for them, taking
looking
pictures.
for where the billboards would be. Yeah, no, just a great move all around. So let's hope they continue to do that, and let's hope that they can really drive more viewers and readers to the comic realm, because we know the comics are great. But yeah, so we're talking about I Am Batman #6. As we mentioned, our friend Ken Lashley did it. We're going to bring up those images again to show you some of the art. And this was a cool series because this shows Batman in action, and he goes to the crime-ridden areas, not Manhattan. Manhattan is already policed really well. So in this, he's trying to go to the other areas that the police don't dwell in. And he also makes a note that he's got to earn the trust of the people. And how he does that is he's doing it a little bit more visually. He's letting people take pictures of him with the cameras, with their cell phone cameras and stuff. He's being a more, even though he operates at night, he is also letting people see him so that he can earn the trust of the people, because he's new to this town. So again, a really cool, as Jesse said, this is not just taking Batman, photocopying him and dropping in New York City, which was already Gotham was an analogy to New York City. So they are working to try and make this book different. So if you do check out this book, it is kind of a cool jumping on point. You can read this one without reading the other ones, but the other ones were quite solid too. Same writer, I think it's John Ridley is writing it. So yeah, fantastic book. I really liked it. I will just give a little bit of a warning. The first and the last page are pretty graphic. There's a grisly murder, and we see something that is pretty shocking in it. So, but yeah, all around a good, solid book. My pick of the week, definitely.
So back to the whole New York thing. What did you think of the little excerpt they had where they say they have no supervillains in New York? Did that catch you off guard a little bit? It doesn't seem like Gotham and Metropolis are the only places with supervillains.
It's actually really funny because in the DC universe, they don't mention New York a lot. It's always, like I said, it's Gotham, it's Metropolis, Keystone City. They've got these kind of made up cities, and I guess they're trying to say, like, oh, hey, New York it has crime, but it doesn't have super powered crime. So they're a little bit worried about that. But yeah, again, it's really cool. Like I said, they've dropped the political stuff right in there, right out of the gate, and stuff. So you already know it's a different type of book, and it's going to be a different series, and it has to be, because again, Batman already has so many titles. You can't just, if you were just going to make somebody else Batman and just make it the same, it's not going to work. So again, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I did like the characters. Again, they are not carbon copies of the people you see in Gotham, and also with a little bit of what's going on. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, because I do believe you guys out there should check it out. But of course, there's going to be forces that do not want a crime fighter of the level of Batman in there to spoil what they are doing. So we're going to see the people that love Batman, and we're going to see the people that just do not want a vigilante crime fighter in their fair city. So,
and circling back to the whole year ago when Jace Fox just first came out, the next Batman is also a very good read.
Yes,
6 issues, I believe. It kind of sets up some of the main players in, I guess, the New York. Like we see a detective that got booted out of Gotham. Her name is what's her name? Chubbs. I believe her name is Chubbs, but she got kicked out of Gotham for being kind of a rogue, I guess you'd say.
Yep.
So we see her again, but definitely pick up the next Batman from the Future
and
State
that's available
line.
in trade. The Future State, the Batman, next Batman. Yeah, great stuff. And also the cool thing too is this book it's fully in continuity with what's going on in the other Bat titles. And we got to say, like right now, even though DC is publishing a lot of Bat family books, most of them are damn good. Like we mentioned, Detective Comics, amazing. Nightwing is amazing. Batman has been continually good. My gosh, I gotta say, like the past 3 story arcs for Batman have been just fantastic. So yeah, there's lots of really good stuff coming there. So if you like Batman, there's no better time to like Batman. And if you haven't read him in a while, trust me, there's something for you, whether it's in his main book or Detective Comics or I Am Batman or trying something new like Batgirls. Again, I think there's something for everybody. There's 2 Robin books. Nightwing is just a blast. So yeah, there's so much to enjoy for the Dark Knight. So speaking of the Dark Knight, what happens when New York is mayored by the kingpin of crime, Wilson's Fisk? It becomes a dark night for the heroes as they become outlawed, and Fisk basically deputizes these characters that we see on the cover. Basically, the bad guys become the law bringers, and they are arresting and detaining the heroes we know. So on this beautiful cover, we see none other than Doc Ock, we see the U.S. agent, and we see the Rhino. I really like Chichetto's rendition of the Rhino. Just looks super solid. Art's beautiful. Writing is super cool. We're seeing a side of some of these heroes and villains we have not seen before. But where do we find what's the situation, Jesse? Give us the lowdown here on this issue so far.
So, spoilers for 3, I believe the heroes stage an attack to try to get rid of Kingpin, and it kind of backfired because Doc Ock had his what does he call them now? They used to be spider drones when he was in Superior Spider-Man.
Yep, and now they work for him, and they shut down, like they track people and shut down powers. Yeah, it's been just pretty cool.
So the heroes lost. I believe Foggy Nelson got hurt in the escapade of the heroes trying to take care of Kingpin. So now I think there was a time jump of 2 months, wasn't it?
Yep.
2 months.
2 months or 2 weeks? I can't remember. 2 weeks probably. Yeah.
Luke Cage is actually running for mayor of New York City against Kingpin, and they're trying to figure out that whole situation. And our heroes have been locked in jail for quite some time. I really like this part when Reed Richards kind of showed how smart he is, and he went around their whole technology and kind of broke their collars off.
Yep, they had restraining collars, and of course they were designed by Reed Richards, Fantastic Four tech. So he just basically, he's like, oh well, let me activate this failsafe, and of course the Invisible Woman, you can't keep Sue Storm down. We see Moon Knight doing his thing, and these poor guardsmen didn't know what hit them, and I really actually liked the kind of prison break type of thing, because it was almost like the heroes literally just bid their time. They're like, let's lull them into this false sense of security, and then they go all out. And again, Sue Storm is just a she can almost do anything. Such a powerful character. You see, if you can really see that top panel where she creates an air pocket over top of that guy's helmet, so he won't be able to breathe. So he's gonna knock unconscious. And then earlier on in the jailbreak, she's on her cell is high up, but she just creates these discs to walk down on and stuff while invisible. So yeah, super, super cool.
So now the heroes are out, and what's Kingpin up to? What is he trying to do that sparks the whole main issue? Do you remember what he's trying to do?
For this, Kingpin is trying to basically make New York. Well, he's using Purple Man's ability to kind of mind control everybody. Yeah, we really see that play out at the end. I don't want to give up the spoiler at the end of this issue, because it does tie really into Daredevil and the Kingpin's relationship of not relation, yeah, their relationship, their adversarial relationship and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy because we see the champions in action. We see Rhino tussling with them, and the Kingpin, I think he's playing an intricate game, but some of the players aren't falling into shall we say, the role the Kingpin wants him to. So his son has become the Kingpin of crime, and his son is not taking any advice from Daddy Dearest. Spits in his face. He's like, I'm running the organization. You're mayor. You do your things, but step away from me. So it's pretty crazy, because not many people are questioning and going against Fisk, but his son is standing up. So yeah, I think he's getting a little bit frustrated with that, and I think you're seeing some of these cracks take place in his plan there. So,
and Doc Ock isn't that friendly to him.
No.
Well, Kingpin wants power. Doc Ock just wants control. He wants people to do his bidding, and he wants stuff to get done. Question for you: do you know when Typhoon Mary married Kingpin?
I do not. I was really taken aback by that, because I don't think that happened. It didn't happen. It must have happened recently, but I don't know when. Yeah, Typhoid Mary, and she's not crazy.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
So
she seems very civilized. Yeah,
very civilized, very sane. So maybe we'll get an explanation to that. But of course, we see Daredevil in this book. We see what he's doing. And we see the heroes. But yeah, this has been a pretty good series for Marvel. I'm trying to really figure out if it's a standalone series, like if somebody could just pick this up and read it. And I think while the initial premise is very easy to follow, there were a lot of building blocks that were planted in the Daredevil series getting up to this point.
Yeah.
And it is the same creative team that was on Daredevil. So what I would recommend, if anybody's waiting for this to come out in trade paperback, read it. And if you enjoy it in trade paperback and want to see all of the kind of steps that happened before, then check out the whole run by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto, because it is stellar. But I wouldn't say read all of it to get there. You obviously might want to get that action-packed storyline that is the Devil's Reign, and if you enjoy it immensely, like you said, then go back and get the other stuff. But Jesse, speaking about going back, let's go back in time to last week in comics. Going to go back in time, and you've got a book that you really enjoyed and picked up because of a TV show. So hey, that works. So what's your pick for last week in comics?
Last week in comics, Peacemaker, Disturbing the Peace. Now, Peacemaker has been a popular TV show on HBO Max. I recently started watching it. It's really good. It's really funny. It's one of those shows where you don't have to pay too much attention to it. I believe Rob and John have a whole bunch of reviews on the channel about it. Check those out. I enjoy the show. So I was really happy to see that you still had this book. I thought it would have definitely sold out, because Peacemaker's the man of the hour right now.
Right now, yep.
This one by Ennis and Brown is actually very different than the Peacemaker we see in the show. This Peacemaker isn't funny. He's more serious.
Yep.
So in this issue, we see Peacemaker sitting down with a therapist. He's going over his origin story, and it's not a pretty origin story. He talks about how he's seen his parents not make it. He's an orphan. He talks about how his adopted parents, he became an orphan. He talks about how he was kidnapped by outlaws, and he kind of became their child slash friend. He's a very tragic character. I don't know anything about Peacemaker other than what I've learned from the show, and it's a complete opposite from the show to this issue. He seems very calculated. He seems very dangerous. So I think this issue, it is a one-shot, but I think it's leading up to him maybe joining the Suicide Squad as sort of like a Rick Flag, like a leader sort of thing, because he doesn't take crap from anybody. He talks about how he joined the army at a very young age, how he went through an infantryman to a ranger to a special operative, and it all ties together in the end. He goes around and does something behind everybody's back to his gain, and we don't know what it is till the very end. It all kind of comes together as he's telling the therapist this story of his life. And then at the end, she kind of, light bulb goes off in her head, and she's like, "Wait a minute, did you?" So it's a really good issue if you like Peacemaker, the show. It is completely different. It's by Gary Ennis. What's Greg Ennis?
Garth Ennis.
Garth Ennis. Sorry, Garth Ennis.
Yeah, this is the guy that brought us some really great Punisher stuff. So if you know his work, you know it's definitely going to be dark, a little bit gritty and violent. But
he's also the Boys guy, right?
Yeah,
he did the Boys. So I would compare it a lot to the Boys with the whole grittiness, with the gore, with the blood, with the way he presents
over the top violence. Yeah,
over the top violence. Yes, that's for sure. I cut all the images of the over top violence out, but yeah, it's a very good starting point for Peacemaker. If you enjoy the character, maybe check out this book and go from there.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So that's the kind of the neat thing about when you see these shows, as long as they are good enough to spark somebody's interest in picking up a comic, checking out the source material and stuff. And like I said, we've seen it at the shop with Moon Knight, and I'm glad you've checked this one out, Jesse, too, in the Peacemaker based on the show. Because I haven't watched it. John Cena is killing it in the show. People are really liking him. And, he was also in the Suicide Squad movie that was just done by James Gunn. So yeah, so even though it's a different iteration of the character, you might like it enough to check it out. So yeah. So speaking of cinema and movies, DC just released today earlier a sizzle reel called, I think they called it the World Needs Heroes, and this is clips. So we're seeing clips from Black Adam, Aquaman, the new Aquaman movie, Batman, and what was the fourth one? The Flash. Yeah. Sorry. Wait, did I say Bat? Yeah. Yeah.
Batman, Flash.
And Flash. Yeah. So this was a cool reel. I didn't expect it to drop today. So we're going to play it for you here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it and give you our initial thoughts here. So if you haven't seen it, tune in and watch it. And if you have seen it, watch it again with us and we'll talk. And again, hit us up with the comments. Let us know what you think about it.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me.
You can go to any timeline, any universe. Why fight to save this one?
What could be greater than a king? A hero.
I just got goosebumps. If we don't stand up, no one will.
Come with us. There's a glorious world out there, waiting for you.
Are you in?
Bam!
Look at that.
Bam!
What did you think of that?
All
What is your
right.
most anticipated of the 4 that we see there?
So, okay. My most anticipated after seeing this. So what impressed me the most is because we hadn't seen anything from it yet, is the Black Adam stuff in there. So we see the Rock, and we see him in the hooded Black Adam, and of course the Rock's just jacked, but seeing him with the costume on was great. But I'll tell you this: the showstopper for me was seeing and hearing Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Oh my God, super cool. He looked good. It didn't look cheesy. And then when we see Hawkman with the wings spreading out, I was afraid that movie was going to look cheesy. So first impression was, man, that like super, super cool. Atom Smasher looked cool. So props to DC for these clips, like they chose them well. They had the nice little sound bites. They're like, "Are you in?" Oh, I just got goosebumps. So there was some cool stuff in there. You're a Flash guy, Jesse. What did you think of that Flash costume?
I like it. It's different than the Grant Gustin one.
Yep.
It's more of a. It looks a lot.
52.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
I think that movie is the second one I'm anticipating the most, but it's got to go to my man Batman. I can't wait for that movie. It just looks so good.
I'm glad you mentioned it. So the first couple trailers we saw for the Batman were very dark, but I gotta say I like these moments where we saw Catwoman talking to him. It just kind of added a little bit of another level for it to me. Like, so I'm like, okay, we're seeing something else. And lately, there's lots of interviews going around, and Robert Pattinson's talking about, he's like, hey, he said something along the lines of, I never heard that Batman was called the world's greatest detective, and you're really going to see that in this movie. And I'm like, I'm getting a little bit excited, and I don't want to be. I don't want to have too many expectations to be disappointed, right? But yeah, it looked really good. Even those Aquaman moments that we saw, like we all know that Marvel has trounced DC in the movies department, but DC still delivered some top quality stuff. I was a big fan of the first Aquaman movie. I thought it was fun. It looked great. Momoa did an excellent job, and I think we're going to get a more serious movie this time around and stuff. The Flash, we've heard all about all the different things they're tackling, and they even mentioned it in that little voiceover. Oh, you can go to any timeline. Why fight for this one, right? Interesting that we didn't see any of the other Flashes or Batmans. I thought maybe they would have dropped that because of how popular No Way Home is. They might have wanted to tease fans and say, hey, no, we've got this coming in down the pipe too. But yeah, man, what a cool reel. Like, the Batman stuff looks just intense. The Black Adam just looks just cool. And again, that's, I think, for the Black Adam, like, we knew they were going to bring in some of these characters from the Justice Society, but I just wasn't expecting it to look that good. So yeah, I'm impressed, pleasantly surprised, and I'm hoping that we can get to the theater to see some of these movies, because maybe that's going to be the difference. Seeing it on the big screen and being able to eat popcorn and just lose yourself is going to definitely add. So let's hope 2022 is a better year for that. Jesse, I want to ask, I don't know if there's anything, because of the clip was there anything that you didn't like from it? Like anything that made you kind of, jump back a little bit or step back a little bit?
No, I think they did a really excellent job with what they pieced together with showing just enough of each character, right? Like, so excited to see Pierce Brosnan. Like, I didn't think we were going to see him, and boom, he's there. Yeah. We see him floating in at first, and then he's holding
holding the helmet. Yeah, and he's got a great line. I will say the only thing that kind of threw me off a little bit was I was kind of hoping that The Rock would have changed his voice a little bit, because he's playing Black Adam. Like, I thought, like not more gravelly. I didn't want him to be like, I'm Batman, but I just would have thought it would have been something maybe just a little bit deeper, because again, he's just sounds exactly like The Rock in every other role. So maybe we'll see it in different when it comes out and stuff. But yeah, other than that, wow, super excited for it. So let's hope that they can continue on this this path, and maybe we'll start seeing some competition between the DC movies and the Marvel movies.
I think if they get structure and they get some sort of continuity between DC's movies, I think they could do maybe just as well as Marvel, if not better.
Yeah,
Right?
we'll
Like
see.
if we get official word that there is a DCU, because I think they just said they're scrapping the Snyderverse, right? So if we get
that's up and down all the time, you know. It's just like
if we get some sort of Justice League on screen, like we got the Avengers, I think it might be a little bit better than the Avengers we got. But
yeah.
who
And you
knows?
know what? Marvel, a lot of people are saying that maybe Marvel, maybe with Endgame, because everything kind of wrapped up in a bow, that they now have to really start climbing and building back, because some people might have Marvel fatigue after 22 movies, right? Whereas I think some people are just like, they're waiting for DC to do. They're like, okay, come on, DC, get a home run. You know that you've gotten on base a couple times, but knock it out of the park. So maybe, you know, because hey, listen, Batman movies draw in so many people and they've been good. So, you know, maybe the Batman will bring us those things of like the Dark Knight or Batman, you know, Begins, and that could just be the starting tracks to DC picking up some steam. But they do have to work with it, and they do have to work hard and earn it back. So yeah, hopefully you guys out there enjoyed that spot. You can let us know what you like the best in that trailer that we saw, and hopefully DC continues to dribble out little things for us to see. Not too much, because we don't want to see have the whole movie spoiled and stuff like that. There's so much content out there and stuff. But speaking of content, let us remind everybody that you can find us online, Heroes World Online. That is your passport to all of the cool stuff we do. Check us out on YouTube, Heroes World Online, on Facebook, Heroes World Online, and of course, Instagram, Heroes World Online. Instagram and Facebook, you're going to see a lot of our new product that we get in every week. Almost every day there's something new. And as well, hit up our website, which is also Heroes World Online, and you can see the stuff there. And if you are so inclined, you can support us with a purchase of either comics, games, models, magic cards, gaming cards, anything of the like. And you can also reach out to us there if you have any requests. But on to the content. Sundays, we've got the Heroes World podcast. Monday, it's the Sidekick Show with John and Rob. And of course, we've got Friday, TGIF. We are reworking the Thursday, So What I'd Miss. So we're going to come at you with some great new ideas and new content. So please like, share, tell a friend, but continue to enjoy what we do. And as always, stay safe and have fun.